This week marks our 17-year anniversary of moving to San Miguel.
So today we just wanted to keep it real here, sit down and reflect on San Miguel a little bit, our own lives, and how this past year has evolved for us, because it's been a big change.
Very big change. So I would say the number one question that people ask us when they meet us here at the B&B is, how did you end up in San Miguel and what brought you here and how long have you been here? And it's actually a really good story, and we've told this story before one time, but we're going to tell you again just in case you didn't watch that other video. In 2005, we came to San Miguel to explore the town because we were trying to figure out where we wanted to open a bed and breakfast. We had decided that we wanted to leave the US to create new lives for ourselves, and because of our love of travel, we thought up this idea of, let's open a bed and breakfast. We've stayed in many, and maybe that's something that we can do. I have a degree in hospitality management, so we said, okay, we're going to survive and make money off of having a B&B. So then we said, well, where in the world? And we came up with many places and many ideas, but we ended up watching a TV show, and it featured a couple that was on sabbatical in San Miguel de Allende. And we saw how beautiful this town looked. And we said, wow, we've never been there. Where is it? It's in the central part of Mexico. I've never been there. My dad is from the west coast of Mexico, so I'd never really been inland. We came that week to look at properties that we could convert into a bed and breakfast and didn't find anything. And we were staying at a B&B not too far from where we are now. We were sitting at a table with a gentleman from Austin, Texas, and he said, what are you kids doing here? And we said, well, we came to look at property that we could convert. And he said, well, why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to build something? And we said, well, we know nothing about building. We don't know if it's in our budget. That sounds very expensive. And he said, I'm a builder. I build homes in San Miguel. And I just bought a piece of land. It became mine yesterday. Meet me up there this afternoon and we'll look at it, because it's got this old 17th century chapel that we want to restore, and it's going to have an amazing view of town. And we said, okay, well, we have nothing to lose. We came up to meet him that afternoon, and it is the property that we ended up buying and building on and became our home.
Yeah, which is crazy because we came to San Miguel just to look, just to do some research. This was our first trip of what we thought was going to be many trips throughout the next 5 years of our travels. This was our very first trip with that mindset, and by the end of the week we had decided to completely change the course of our lives and start a new chapter here.
And we took a big chance with a stranger that we didn't know that we were going to end up with the property we ended up with. And our family was so afraid for us, and they thought that we were going to get cheated and that our money was going to get stolen and all these things. We were, 35 years old at the time, and, what did we know? But it all worked out.
Last year, we did a similar video for our 16th year anniversary, and we're blown away by how many of you connected with it.
And since then, so much has happened in this last year. The channel has grown to almost 7,000 subscribers.
Almost 7,000
Almost 7,000 subscribers, which is amazing, because we never thought we would even get one, let alone 7,000. And we've met a lot of you. Many of you have come to stay with us, and we've become really good friends with some of you.
Yeah. We've met a lot of people, both virtually through our one-on-one calls, getting to know people as you've signed up to our Discovery Week.
Yes, we're going to meet a lot of new people too.
Yes, and so many of you that we've met in person that have come and chosen to stay with us at Antigua Capilla Bed and Breakfast.
Yeah, we're very grateful. Thank you so much.
So let's talk first about how this city has evolved, starting with, have we noticed any changes to San Miguel in the last year?
What I've noticed is a lot of construction going on. In fact, behind you, there's lots of new homes going up on a hillside that I never thought they would build on because it's tough terrain. About 3 new houses have gone up back there. And when you drive around town, you see lots of new construction. There's lots of new big hotels that have come our way too, either have been built or are being built. On pieces of land that we never thought also that would have a big gigantic hotel on it. Good or bad, I don't know.
Places that were the outskirts of town that are now big resorts, and there's another new big resort that's breaking ground now, and we don't see a stop to that, actually.
No,
Yeah.
no. We've also seen a lot of people move here in the last year just based on the people that we've spoken to on our one-on-one calls and people that we've met who come and they're looking for homes to buy, and speaking to real estate agents too. There's lots of homes that are selling because there's lots of people trying to leave the US and move to Mexico.
People that are doing their recon trip just like we did 20 years ago, that come with the idea of renting, and then by the end of their stay, they're talking about purchasing a home to
Yeah,
come
we
live.
had two guests who just left yesterday. Hi, Robert. Hi, Terry. That were here for 2 weeks to stayed with us, and who we feel are our friends now. And they came with the intention of looking for somewhere to rent for the summer, and they wanted to come spend 3 months. And they left with the possibility of potentially buying a condo that they saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, this town has a way of getting you very excited and wanting to move here. I don't know what it is. It's like a magical pull that it has.
It really is, and we'll get into this a little bit later about how the channel has grown and the changes we've seen personally in our lives because of it. But one big change is that we have met a lot of people that have come stay with us because of our channel, and that we have become friends with now, and can really say that they're our friends, and we look forward to all of you moving here and joining our community. And regarding things that are new or the same over the last 12 months here with regards to restaurants, I think this has been an ongoing evolution with restaurants ever since we've been here.
Ever since we've been here.
There's a big turnover of restaurants, unfortunately. People that have their dream of coming here and opening up a restaurant and then only to have it go under within 6 months. We see it all the time, all the time. It's the survival of the fittest here.
Yeah, because there's too many restaurants and not enough people that are going to eat there all week long. You might have a good weekend, but it doesn't mean that Monday through Thursday you're going to have any business. And it's kind of hard to survive on 3 days a week.
The restaurants that we do see that have survived over the years are the ones that have really been able to tap into the local market.
Yeah.
Those are the restaurants that are surviving here. That's just a continuing thing. This year is no different.
Yeah.
There are always new restaurants, and some are really, really good, and unfortunately they don't make it also.
Yeah, as far as things like traffic, I think that the traffic has kind of been the same the last few years. There's a lot of traffic. It's not horrible.
No.
When you're a local and you know how to get around, then you avoid the busy streets and you go around the perimeter of town. Because I have to go out and buy so many groceries and products that we use at the B&B, I kind of take the perimeter with my car and I go to the stores on the outskirts. So I don't really shop in the actual historical center. But if you live in the historical center and you're just going to go buy a few things, it's still easy. But yeah, there's a lot of traffic and more motorcycles too.
More motorcycles. That's a huge change. I would say in the last year and a half, there are a lot of motorcycles.
Yes.
You know, in the last 5 years, the minimum wage has more than doubled. So people on the lower end of the income spectrum are making more money. And with that comes the ability to be able to buy a vehicle to get around in. And we have seen a huge increase in motorcycle traffic here. We live in a pedestrian street, and there's always motorcycles driving
going
through.
by. Yeah, there's so many of them parked on the street now too, and yeah, that's grown a lot.
And then with regards to traffic, I remember before COVID, kind of leading up to 2019, 2020, 2019 was the big year where every national holiday meant the closure of streets to outside traffic. And so if you didn't live here, you wouldn't be able to enter the town. And those weekends were definitely weekends where we wouldn't ever even think about getting into our car and driving into the historical center. But ever since COVID, that hasn't happened anymore. I don't know if it's because there's less people that are coming from other parts of Mexico or what, but even on the busiest of Mexican holidays, you can still navigate from one end of the city to the other, except for when, of course, that infamous parade happens.
Yes, then forget it. You're not getting through.
Yeah, we have. It must be the Mexican capital of parades because there seems to be one every day, I think.
No, not exactly one every day.
Well,
it's
it
a little
seems like
exaggeration, but yeah, there are a lot of processions and parades.
And if you don't know about it and you get in your car and you're trying to get to the other side of town, you're going to be stuck there for 45 minutes to an hour until the parade goes through or the procession goes through because it's very slow.
Yeah.
It's by foot. Or you just turn around if you can and maybe head back home or take the perimeter road around. But that's something that really hasn't changed over the years. It's an ongoing thing as well. And the roads are widening. Now we have the road that goes to Dolores Hidalgo, which is about 50 kilometers from here. It used to be a one-lane road each direction, and that now is a 2-lane road for most of the way. There are areas where it goes back down to 1 and then goes back up to 2. And that, they say, is the first phase to a future possible toll road that they've been planning for many, many years to the Guanajuato airport, which it would be nice to have, because then that would cut the trip from the Guanajuato airport from an hour and a half to under an hour, because it really isn't that far of a distance, but to get here, it's a windy 1-lane road for a long stretch of it. So there's that forever growing infrastructure that's going on here.
And I think if we want to keep it real and talk about not just the good stuff, but also the bad stuff, with all of this growth, there is concern about water and running out of water.
Yes.
Because it will happen eventually. We just don't have enough water for all this growth. And the municipality just keeps building and allowing big projects to go up and lots of new homes. And that is a concern for all of us. And that's not just here in San Miguel, that's in Oaxaca. They have a water issue there too. I don't think there's really any place that's immune to this problem of lack of water.
We have seen some big projects that have been suspended. I don't know if that's political or what, but the pretext is that it's because of lack of water to those regions. But then we see other projects that are fast-tracked. And so yeah, the city is growing. There are more people that are moving in from other parts of Mexico especially, and of course from the United States and Canada. One of the reasons that I've noticed why, especially on weekends, some streets that lead to the historical center are super congested and backed up is because everyone uses navigation, right? And so everybody gets funneled into these 2 or 3 streets that lead to the square, whereas us who live here know how to avoid those. And so for us, it's not that big a deal, especially if you have a car, you can just kind of maneuver. And in the central area is very walkable too, so if you're on foot, that's not a problem at all.
I think that even though San Miguel has grown and there's lots of new homes and construction going on, it still has that very charming feel, and that's why people still want to move here. As soon as you get into the neighborhoods and where you live, the people are so friendly and the town itself is just so charming. It's still attractive to people. Yeah,
there still is that environment where you'll find mom and pop grocery stores, paper shops and tortilla shops and bakeries.
And the knife sharpener and, you know, the sound of the whistle, the flute of the knife sharpener. Yeah. And we still have those really, I always say very charming parts of San Miguel that attract people to want to live here.
One change, though, that I have noticed, maybe not in the last 12 months, but in the recent history of San Miguel, is that with the opening of the mall, I guess it's been a while now, 15 years ago that it opened. There's an Office Depot. Sure, it makes it a lot easier for people to go buy their papers and get their photocopies and buy their printing supplies and all that kind of stuff, but that really hurt all the small independent paper shops that used to be everywhere around town, and I do see less of that now. And so as we move forward, there are plans of putting big international supermarket stores here, and like a Walmart they're talking about for years. That's one of the projects that's suspended. But if that happens, well, we'll see more change, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the next 5 to 10 years bring as things modernize, and if that's good or if it's bad, but people always want to progress.
So now let's talk about us a little bit, how we personally have evolved in the last 12 months, both personally and professionally.
I could say for myself, it's been a difficult year health-wise and things that we've had to deal with, but the influx of all these really lovely guests that we've had has really been a positive. It's really cheered us up.
Our spirits have been
lifted
by so many of you that have gotten to know us through the channel, that have come and stayed with us and interacted with us in person. So that's been a really nice boost to our morale.
Yeah, and even when we go out, or sometimes I go out by myself to go shopping or something, and we'll get stopped at the grocery store and say, "Oh, we love your videos. We watch you on YouTube," and it's kind of like, me? And then you have this really nice conversation with people that you never would have met otherwise. So that's been really nice, actually. You get the warm and fuzzies.
Right. And so if you do see us on the street, come and talk to us. We'd love to meet you.
We like to meet you. What about for you this last year?
This last year has been interesting because, we're 55 now, and Antonieta got a little of a head start with health issues. And I still felt invincible up until about 2 years ago when I messed up my meniscus. and can't run anymore. Now I'm starting to get the, the issues that men of a certain age start to develop. Now I feel like I have officially entered, have we passed middle age now? Are we maybe our third chapter of our lives now?
Yeah. Well, in Mexico, they call us ancianos already.
Yeah.
We're already
elderly.
Considered elderly. That's pretty sad, but true. That's just the way they categorize the age group.
For COVID, they were announcing the age categories of people that were up next for vaccinations. And so they were calling people that are 50 and over elderly. So the elderly folks of 50 and above can now get vaccinated. And we had just turned 50 in 2020. So we had officially become elderly as far as Mexico is concerned.
Crazy.
That was kind of funny.
Also, I would say the last few years, we've definitely been struggling with our business as far as attracting people to come and stay with us. Maybe because there's so many new hotels. The Airbnb platform has also killed a bit of our business, a lot of it, because when we first moved here, there weren't a lot of options. And so we didn't have any issues with business. And then after COVID, it was really hard. And I think that's kind of what birthed the idea of starting the YouTube channel, not just trying to change the energy, the mojo, because whatever we were doing wasn't working.
Yeah, we had tried advertising on Facebook, Google, TripAdvisor, and all the platforms.
Yeah.
And all we were doing is spending money for advertising.
Yeah.
But it wasn't converting into reservations. And so we needed to do something new.
Yeah.
And we decided to kick off this YouTube channel about slow travel, about moving abroad. It's a channel that focuses on helping you make your transition from your home country to another country. And through this channel,
the byproduct of the channel has been
of YouTube.
Yeah.
Our business has improved tremendously. It's incredible what YouTube has done. And the beauty of it is YouTube is paying us not millions of dollars, maybe a couple $100 a month in ad revenue, sometimes more, sometimes less. So it's not that we're making money from YouTube, but YouTube is bringing us business at the B&B through reservations, through the Discovery Week that we're offering, and the one-on-one calls, and our digital products that we're selling. So
it was kind of like a year of reinvention and trying something different. And we really felt the energy just change.
Yes.
We've always known that we built something special and we put our heart and soul into what we do. And it was heartbreaking, right? Heartbreaking that nobody was coming. And we kind of felt just a bit devastated.
Yeah, a little deflated. We had a successful business up until COVID. COVID killed it. COVID was like a big discovery for the Airbnb platform, especially for the national market. It used to be that if we had 2 or 3 rooms empty for the upcoming weekend, they would be filled by people from Mexico City or Monterrey or other parts of Mexico. And then after COVID, we lost the national visitor.
So this last year has really reinvigorated us. We were looking at our calendar for the winter, and I remember last year looking at the calendar for winter, and it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how we're going to do this. And then I'm looking at the calendar this winter, and we have a lot of people coming through, a lot of it because they saw us on YouTube. It's just been really great. Really just, it feels really good.
And also, I don't know how to put this, how to say this, but it's we've made a lot more connections with so many of you that have stayed since our YouTube channel kicked off.
Yeah.
We've made many more friends with guests that have stayed with us recently compared to prior to YouTube. I think we were just getting a different type of traveler that really didn't want to get to know us. They were just here to look at the town and then move on. And there was no connection. And now so many of you have connected with us in a deeper way. It's like
they know us already before they even get here.
It feels like we're hosting friends or family members at our place now. So that's become really, really cool.
Yeah. So I feel like we're getting a lot out of it. And we hope that our guests are getting a lot out of it too. This
has really been the focus for us this year. The growth, the development of our YouTube channel and the business outside of the bed and breakfast. We've created this really amazing week-long Discovery Week that we're going to be hosting in March. That's completely sold out. So thank you to all of you that signed up for it.
It's going to be a fun week.
And we look forward to meeting you in person. We're already corresponding with you guys And we really look forward to meeting with you.
And there's another one coming in July.
Yes,
next year.
Yes, so let's make it official. July 11th for a week is our next Discovery Week. So if you're interested, if you were on the fence before and you're bummed that it's sold out, there's one in July now. Discovery Week is this immersive one-week program where people are going to have an opportunity to talk in a small group setting with professionals like real estate agents, health insurance brokers, rental agents, and guides that'll take us to the different neighborhoods in San Miguel de Allende, and also to visit Guanajuato for the day and Querétaro for the day. It's an immersive week where you'll get to meet all these professionals and get any questions, any doubts that you might have answered directly by them. And there's also going to be some downtime, so it's not going to be go, go, go all the time. You're going to have afternoons where you can have the freedom to relax, to go explore neighborhoods that you might be interested in living someday, or if you want to go on your own and visit some hospitals, there's an assisted living facility here. There's a hospice care facility here. So there's going to be time for independent visits to those places as well. So we're super excited.
It's going to be a fun week.
There's one in July now. And July, summertime is beautiful here. It's mid 70s. It's cool, it's fresh air. It's a beautiful time of year.
I would say
here.
the summer is the most magical time in San Miguel, and it's like this secret that shouldn't be a secret, because more people should come here in the summertime. You get gorgeous, beautiful days like this. Then in the afternoons, the rain kind of comes in a little bit, and it rains for maybe an hour, and then it's another beautiful night. Don't be afraid to come here in the summertime.
We're in the Central Highlands, and so it's not tropical up here. It's actually semi-desert. It's not like the coastal areas of Mexico where it does get really extremely hot and humid.
If you live in a place where in July, August, you're boiling, come here. The temperatures are insanely beautiful.
And the evenings are cool.
Yes, so it's perfect for sleeping. You don't need air conditioning. You don't need anything. The temperature is just perfection here in the summertime.
Yeah. Anyway, then we went on a tangent
We went on a tangent about how beautiful San Miguel is in the summer.
But we've been focusing on our new path here with YouTube, and we're going to continue to push forward with that and grow it to an even bigger community of like-minded people that we look forward to meeting in the future, whether it's in San Miguel at our B&B or Discovery Week, or we're thinking about doing other meetups in other parts of the world, perhaps in the near future. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow marks our 17th year anniversary of living in San Miguel de Allende. Man, how time flies.
Yeah, real fast.
And it's a year and a month since we started the YouTube channel. And we didn't know what we were doing when we started the YouTube channel. We still don't know. It's still a learning curve here.
Yeah.
YouTube is hard. Speaking to a camera is one of the scariest things for me. I don't know about you.
And for me, Francisco and I are both introverts, but we can turn it on when we have to.
Yeah. And 17 years of practice of talking to strangers at breakfast has
it's really helped.
So talking to a camera, I mean, it's really strange to just look at an inanimate object and have a conversation with it. We really have to play tricks on our brains to pretend that there's actually somebody, like one person is looking at us right now and we're talking to you. And it's been a struggle. So it was really, really hard for us in the very beginning. We were super awkward and it's kind of cringy a little bit. We're looking at our older videos. Gosh. Practice does help, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
So it's changing us in that respect, and that it's becoming easier to share experiences with you. Now I feel like we're talking to friends. And in fact, a lot of you that are watching this right now are our friends. And so it's not like we're talking to a room full of strangers or a stadium full of strangers, because 7,000 subscribers
is a lot of people. Yeah.
That's a little intimidating to think about. And
well, don't think about it.
So instead, we're chit-chatting with those of you that we've met virtually and in person. And I would say that one of the most rewarding parts is that our channel is really designed to help you transition from your work life up in the States or Canada or wherever you live to a new life abroad. And it's really been rewarding to see so many of you make that switch. It's really touching to know that we were a part of facilitating that for you. It's really been
it's nice to know that we've been helpful in any way. We get emails from people telling us their stories and comments on our videos, on how they love our videos and how helpful we've been. So that makes us feel good that we're doing something good.
It's really difficult to meet everybody in person that reaches out because it's just too many. But if you do run into us us in the streets, don't be afraid to come up to us and talk to us. We are more than happy to talk to you. And your feedback is really appreciated. We love to read the comments or emails that you send telling us that we were able to make your transition and your move a little smoother. It really is uplifting to us to know that we were able to help you.
It's also kept us very busy filming, being on a schedule, having to come up with ideas of what we're going to talk about, filming, editing, answering questions. It's been really positive and a really good experience.
I think one of the hardest things about keeping a YouTube channel going is coming up with relevant topics. And so this is where we need your help too.
Yeah, put it in the comments. What other topics would you like us to talk about in our next videos that might help you?
So now let's talk about whether or not we would still move to San Miguel today knowing what we know now versus our 35-year-old selves. So if we were looking for a change, would we still move here?
Yes. I say that very clearly and decisively because I truly believe that we made the right choice for us back in the day when we made the decision to move here. I think it was the best thing that we could have done. It's been a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. It's not been easy all the time, but I would not change a thing, honestly.
Me neither. I'm so glad we took the chance. You know, we could have failed. It could have been a total flop and we would have gone back to the States. I mean, it's been cycles of this. Yeah, and it's gotten really, really bad in certain years, especially COVID. COVID was the worst. We had zero business and bills to pay and employees too. But having said all that,
no regrets.
No regrets.
No, I wouldn't change anything. I would still move here. We picked the right spot for us.
If we were 35 years old today, maybe we would have chosen a different business. Maybe we wouldn't have done a bed and breakfast. Now there's so many more opportunities for people that are still wanting to work to be able to work remotely.
Yes.
There are companies that will allow you to work remotely, or you can just be an independent contractor, or you can start a YouTube channel. So many people have done that. So many people have retired, started a YouTube channel, and continue to make money through YouTube, through digital products and other things that they sell that they haven't had to tap into their retirement. So that's something that I would suggest to some of you that might be on the fence, you know, can I make it financially or not? If you're 2 years away from moving and you like the idea of doing a YouTube channel, start it now. Talk about your plans to move, your processes. There are people that are interested in that kind of stuff and that will watch you as you make your transition towards retirement and towards moving abroad. And by the time you move, you'll have a nice audience. And by then, hopefully, you will also have developed some digital product that you could sell that can sustain your business. And then you can move to your dream spot and not worry about the finances involved with it. So
can you imagine if back then when we were moving here and wrapping up our lives in San Francisco and driving down here and then creating this business and opening the business, if we would have documented everything on a YouTube channel, that would have been so awesome.
That's something that I think we would have done today at 35 for sure.
Yeah, I think maybe we would have just done it differently, but we still would have done the same thing. We would have ended up here.
We just would have chosen a different business. Because at 35, you know, we weren't financially set. We had a little bit of savings in our 401k and the rest of it in the house that we sold that we then took that money to do this project.
Yeah.
But we still had to create income. And so we made it work, but times have changed. And there are many more opportunities to make money today. Do you think it's still an easy place for newcomers to build a life here?
I think so. I think personally it's one of the friendliest places you can move to. It's easy to integrate and become part of the community by volunteering, by giving back in some way. I think a lot of people move here because they want to give back in some way. It's an easier place than maybe some others where you can come. Learning Spanish is important. It's helpful. But yeah, I think you can make a nice life for yourself here that's comfortable and with lots of friends and a social life if that's what you're looking for.
It's kind of a soft landing for people that want to move to Mexico because there is a little bit of everything. There is a large community of English-speaking foreigners that live here that will make your life a little bit easier as you're transitioning into Spanish and learning Spanish. And you have to learn Spanish if you really want to immerse yourself in the Mexican culture and understand what your neighbors are all about. Otherwise, you'll never really understand fully the local culture. But you have that chance, you have the opportunity to sort of ease your way into it because of the foreign community that is here.
But it's not for everyone, right? Because you have to be patient. You have to be flexible and go with the flow at times. And it's not going to be the same as where you're coming from. And you need to be okay with that. You know, there's always the noise, the dogs barking, the roosters in the morning, and all of the noise that comes with Mexico. And we're not going to sugarcoat that because that is just the reality. And if you can't handle that, then Mexico may not be the right place for you.
Yeah, there's also the bureaucracy. You know, everything takes much, much longer than you're used to in the States or Canada. So don't expect to come and find a version of what you left, because it really isn't. It's another country with completely different ways of thinking. You have to leave your expectations behind when you move abroad. And as much as Mexico feels similar to the United States in terms of amenities, especially now, that's another big change now compared to 20 years ago. Grocery stores and shopping centers and all the modern stuff, fast internet. I mean, we have really fast internet here. Everything just works differently. And if you're not open to that, you're not going to be happy here. So we've seen so many people that have come and go. Some people that have come, purchased the home, all excited, gung-ho, and then 3-4 years later, they leave.
They leave because they're just not happy here. Yeah. For whatever their personal reason might be.
But if you like experiencing different things culturally, different types of people with different customs, different food, different cuisines, different festivals and festivities and celebrations, moving abroad will reward you tenfold. So after 17 years, that's, you know, next year our experience in San Miguel is going to be an adult.
Yeah, right?
After 17 years of living here, I think what we're most grateful for, what I'm most grateful for, is the fact that our 35-year-old selves took the chance to make the move. That's the prime of our life. I'm just so grateful that we decided to make that move and take the risk, because it's been so rewarding living here in San Miguel de Allende.
For me, I would say I'm most grateful for the ability that we've had to make a life in a different country, and the quality of life that we've had here has been like we were able to completely change our lives, which is what we wanted when we were 35 years old. We wanted something really different. We were really hungry for a new experience and to live somewhere outside of the US. I don't know, it was like this thing that we had in us that we just had to do it. And I'm so grateful that we were able to do it. And 17 years later, here we are, still living in this magical place and still enjoying our lives here. You know, not everyone gets to do this at 35 years old. It sounds crazy to me sometimes that we were able to do this.
Back then, we were just looking at our careers and going, gosh, is this it?
Yeah.
Is this what we're going to be doing for the next 30 years until we retire? And we just didn't want that. If you're watching this now and you're older, well, it's still not too late. You can be in your 50s or 60s or 70s, and you can make a change at any stage in life. And we're here to say, if you have an itch to do something, go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, you go back.
And so what's next for us? As of tomorrow, we're going to be starting year 18 of our journey abroad.
Well, I think this year is going to bring us a lot more people coming through, more people to meet, and new experiences with our guests. We also want to travel more and do what we love, which is traveling and discovering new places. We've always had that curiosity, so we're planning a big trip for this coming year in May, and we're super excited. We're having like this revival.
A renaissance of our lives.
Yeah.
So let's just say we're going to go to China in May. One thing that we're considering here is we're torn whether or not we should put our China travel experience on this particular channel. Would you guys be interested in watching that? Let us know. We'll see what kind of feedback we get from you to decide whether or not we share it on this particular channel.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we want to continue creating more videos that will help more of you make that change to a new life abroad.
So making more quality videos that you like and enjoy and that are helpful to you. So we expect this next year to be a busy one, a fun one, lots of new experiences. We have a lot of new people we're going to meet.
Yeah, and also having this YouTube channel has made us learn more about the process.
Yeah.
And so we're always growing mentally as well. And so everything we learn, we're going to share it with you as well.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned to see what 2026 brings.
So if you've been following our journey, thank you so much for doing so. We really appreciate that. And if you're new here, welcome. Whether you're curious about living abroad or thinking about moving to Mexico or somewhere, we hope our story helps you take that next leap.
And we look forward to meeting more of you this coming year in 2026.
So see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.